Good morning. Been up since about 8:15. Had my muesli. Got my coffee on. Been watching all the West Island Wayers on their travels, early risers. They've got to get the miles in. A lot of them sound American, the ones I've been listening to. A few have been saying hello. One just said, "Hey, the sun's out." I went, "Yeah, for 5 minutes," because I saw all that coming over. So they're going to get soaked. One casualty last night. My boots got half wet. I cannot believe that happened. I had them tucked in like so, and the dogs must have. I blame the dogs because obviously it's never my fault. Pushed the fly sheet like that, and don't know how it had ridden up and hid like that, so the water was dripping. So I'm trying to get it dry. Probably my fault, to be honest, not the dogs. But lie down, Rogue. I don't know what you're doing over there. Looks like she's trying to climb over him. They're a bit desolate because we're right near a road here, and I'm being sensible, and I don't want them running around. Plus, it's going to rain again. We had rain throughout the night. Nothing crazy, but it never really stopped. It was like pauses, then another lot, and then pauses, another lot. Ground don't look too bad because it's nicely rolling away, and that's why I chose the spot, because I pitched here and I knew it would roll down. Forgot me. Sleep wasn't too bad, I gotta be honest. Wind was great, so no midges. We did get a couple inside the tent when we got up about, I think we got out at 10 o'clock, to be honest, and then we got up later about 3. And the wind wasn't so strong, so a few came off the dogs when the dogs were lying down, because I told them to lie down before they kind of bolt for the tent. Otherwise it's kind of craziness. Plan for today is take it nice and easy, walk up to Hut in the afternoon and set our gear there, because it's going to be rain from late afternoon throughout the night, and then we should have some good weather after that, so I can get up to Steel Falls. But I knew this was coming. It's just do I sit at home, or do I come down and kind of ride it out and see what I can do? But if it's throwing it down all day, there's no point searching for a dog, because the dog will take shelter anyway. And as I say, it's like a needle in a haystack. Dog could be anywhere. So, we're getting soaked all for a dog. Meanwhile, the dog's sitting in somewhere dry. So, nothing to be achieved. You want it dry so that the dog might be moving, or might be out, or might want to come out, at least if you make some noise, or use a dog whistle or something like that. Use a dog whistle in pouring rain, ain't gonna come out. Ain't gonna want to come out. So, I'm just drinking my coffee, seeing what's happening with this weather, because hence now you see why we're near the car, so I can move anything I don't need to the car and then just take a straight hike up to the hut. Now if we were near the hut and I still had the tent and all that, then I'd have to bring some of it back, or take it to the hut and then the next day carry everything back. It's going to be a blustery one, I think. Blustery, windy. This is the tent you want for that kind of weather, because it's, I don't know if you can see from it, but try and put the nose down. I don't think you can see. It's like dome shape with the nose down. It's nice. Follows all the wind. Plus, it's very waterproof. There's a few midges. Hello, Rogue, with your eyes down. We'll leave her alone. Don't know what he's doing. There was some blood in here last night, and I'm trying to figure out how we got some blood in here. Don't know if one of them caught a toe. Can't see no other blood. Have to keep an eye on it. Right, I'll go finish my coffee. That's enough of the update in Camp Chaos. Stella, lie down. Even she's ready to go. Can't do anything with the pouring rain, can we? Right, finish my coffee. Yeah, it's going to be one of them days. Misty showers until the heavy rain comes later. So we're all packed up. Can't go to the hut until after lunchtime. So we're just being lazy. Have a look around, walk the dogs. There's not much you can do when the weather's like this, to be honest. They're growling at each other. What are you growling at? Yeah. No, they're growling at someone walking by. It's got to be one of the largest inner to outer ratios I've ever seen on a tent. It's about 8 inches. And on this side, because it's got the vestibule, it's got to be about 18, nearly 20 inches. Look, you're never going to go and get, even when you push your hand against the inner, it's never going to touch the outer. But there's one negative. The main zip doesn't have a two-way zip. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. Shame. But you can peg out the porch with elastic. I'm going to have a look at that. Try a technique on that of pegging the fly out somewhere so you can have it open and shut it from rain, light rain and wind, but still have a nice gap, you know what I mean, so you're not enclosed as such. Might be hard at the moment with all this mist coming in. It's more heavy mist than rain, thank God. Dogs are resting. Not much else we can do. It's just one of them days. We will get up to the hut in a bit. I don't want to push the other guy out there, you know what I mean? I don't want to hassle him. And to be honest, I don't want to be walking out in the rain anyway. So, I'm sure he doesn't want to be walking down to the car with his girl. He's got, I think, about a 10, 12-year-old girl. I can hear someone whistling. Lots of West Highland Way walkers. Lots and lots. Continuous. Winds are picked up, but that's a good thing. Because it'll dry my tent off. Now, want all that rain to blow away. Winds pick up as they are, tend to dry off, and job's a good one, as they say. Drop tent off the car, a couple of bits from the car, bought with the pack and a couple of bits to the hut. Job done. So just give it a bit longer and then we'll take a hike up to the hut. Short bright spell. It's just been like this, continuous heavy mist, and then it blows over, then quite gusty now. Here comes the mist, and that can be quite soaking, to be honest. But look, there is some bright spells. It's trying to get all this mist out of the way. Once we get a nice bright spell, prolonged, I can start packing the tent up. Well, we made it to the hut. Got here about 2. Got absolutely soaked. Not too bad. Very saturating now. And this is what they said they would do, start off like this and get worse through the day. All through the night. That's why I bought the hut. Just a good backup. You wouldn't want to be searching in weather like this. It'd be slippery. You'd be getting fed up. You'd be getting soaked. Dogs would be getting soaked. And what would you achieve? Nothing. So, plan is to just take it easy today. And then hopefully this blows through to overnight, like they say. Walk back to the car and drive up to Steel Falls and start searching up there. A few midges around my doorway. I chatted to just one person I met on the track, and he said he went halfway up Stobgobber, is that, if I pronounced it correctly? And he says it's very windy up there and it's absolutely saturating. So he turned around, good on him. And that's all I've seen. I chatted to Dominic, one of the estate workers. He was with his wife, a good chap, because I hadn't seen them for a while. And I saw the guy who left the hut with his daughter, and we were chatting because I'd met him before and I didn't realise I'd met him, because I meet so many people on my travels. And it was just great to catch up on some of the things we've all been up to. But yeah, pig of a day. But I knew this was coming. Now, I could have drove out on this, but imagine driving up and then walking to the hut after an 8-hour drive. No, I don't fancy it. So that's why I came yesterday. And this is going to stick around all day, I think. We'll see if we can get out for a ponder later on. If there's a brief interlude in murkiness, but typical Scottish weather, isn't it? You get a lot of this, and very lucky when you get the good weather. So, kettle's on. Dogs have got a cover over their chair, so they shouldn't get that mucky, but it's got that many stains on it anyway, but it's not the point. Try and protect it. I just bashed my head on there. They've done a new hatch here. I don't know if it's closer or something, but I'm used to going up there, but I cracked my head on it. Didn't have hurt. That'll teach me. They put some new boarding in on the ceiling because it was so rotten. Done a good job, and changed the locks and all that on the clasps of the locks on the outside of the doors. Smells. Someone's had a fire in it. Normal rubbish left in here that shouldn't be in here. Cocoa snaps. Who's going to eat them? With my smell. Some sausage and beans. Chunks tuna. There's always tuna in there. Wherever you look, there's always tuna in a buffet. I have to read the buffet, but some coffee. That's about it. As I say, I've got the kettle on, but it's got quite a bit of water. It'll take a while, but then it's all nice and boiled. I boil it to a nice rolling boil because I got it straight from the river. Look and see what that is. You never know what you'll find. Oh no. You don't know what you'll find in it. But it's clean. Tidy. Normal hut. There's even some firewood, but the temperatures. I brought a cot that's somewhere on there. Hopefully it'll dry out. It's a bit wet on the outside. But the cot, just in case there is mice running around the floor. Last thing I want is mice running over me. Spook in the night. I was wearing my sick, I can't remember what jacket this is. It's a cracking jacket. Looks very thin, but it works. It's Gore-Tex material. But it's very fine. But because it's so humid out, I was sweating inside as well as outside. If you get what I mean. I was getting soaked on the outside and sweating on the inside. Oh God, what a day. Later on tonight, I'll do a test on the Garmin, see the weather updates. But the one I did this morning was rain all the way through. And that's for here and Fort William and that area. So it's a great big massive cloud going over and taking its time going over. But after that, it's promising to be pretty bright and, you know, fresh. So we'll have to see how it goes. You can only do what you can do, can't you? Right, I'm going to have coffee and some biscuits. Yep. It's still raining. It's supposed to get harder tonight. You'll be able to do anything. It's just no point going out getting soaked, is there? I think a minute ago I could go out and cut wood just for the sake of it. But that would be soaked anyway. And I don't think there's enough tools here anyway. Thank God I'm not in the tent all day. It'd be claustrophobic with 3 dogs, wouldn't it? A small space. So I'm rubbing my eye. I've got an itchy eye. So yeah. It's annoying. There was a time when I used to come to this hut. I'm talking about, I can't think, 3 years ago. And I could sit in this hut all day, just with my feet out and just relax. But I'm realising now that I need to be out in the hills and searching and crossing rivers, and I'm finding it very frustrating to sit still. Not because I'm always on the go or anything like that. It's just when you're out here, you just want to be out in the wilds. And I was also thinking, sorry, like you do, like you ponder, that I prefer to be in a tent now than actually in a bothy or a hut. I think when I first got to Scotland, it was all a novelty, all these bothies. So you'd see the bothies and you go, oh, I can't explore them. But I'm beginning to feel like, what's the word, trapped or something, inside a building. It's a weird feeling. I'm now realising that I prefer to be out in the open. Even if there's midges. That's getting scary, isn't it? I was also thinking, it's amazing how memories come back. Last time I was in this hut was January 2024. My friend Derek joined me. And I was sitting here in this chair a minute ago. And I was just remembering how we were talking and doing things together and cutting wood and, having a good old laugh. And I wasn't to know that within 11, 12 months from then, he'd be dead. So sad. And just memories. Memories have come back. That was the last time I was here, January 2024. It was freezing, and he went back, and I stayed, and I went up on the slopes on the north side. I went up high, and it was freezing conditions, but lovely, glorious sunshine. And I thank the Lord that he didn't join me that day going up there, because I looked at some recent photos of him with his wife, and he looked so well 2 or 3 years ago, but when he was with me here in the hut, I didn't realise how ill he was. And it was only by looking at the photos I realised he must have been very ill when he was with me here. But he hid it. We were just down the track down here, cutting great big logs. And as soon as I get tired, he'd take over, and then he'd get tired, and I'd take back over. And working as a team, brilliant. Never had to tell each other anything. We just carried on doing everything. And we're doing a lot of chopping and cutting wood, and as I said, we carried a lot of gear in that. I mean, all the gear was mine. It was about 200 pounds on the trolley, but he helped. He never. Since I stopped for a pause, he said, "Here, Bill, let me take over." And I said, No, you don't have to do it. And he says, No, I want to. And he helped. I mean, I had coal and wood and all that for us, but he didn't know that. And we got in here, and I was getting a fire start because I don't think he'd done many boffies. So, this kind of procedure, and you get in, get the fire going, you know what I mean? get the water on the boil so you can have a brew. And he was doing. I got the water from the river. I showed him how, because it's a whole different system each place, isn't it? So I showed him he got the gas going, and he was making cuppa for us all, and I was getting the fire going, and he had some fire starters, and we were trying them, and he sat down. He was watching me. He says, "Oh, you got this sorted, ain't you?" And I said, "I've done it enough times." And the dogs were lying down, like they're all free, and I was in this chair, and I'd only just sat down with my brew, and he poured out them small bottles of whiskey, but hey, lovely token, wasn't it? And he had some treats for the dogs, and it was so touching. Every now and then you meet someone really, really nice, and you just click as a team. You know what I mean? As two people, I could have spent many nights in the buffies or huts with him, and I don't think would have ever had a crossword. It was so good. Loved the dogs, but I don't think Derek can mind me saying, because he'd gone through a lot. He was ex-police officer and he'd seen too many horrific things, you know what I mean, in his time. And I think they played on him, and he used to get night terrors. And he did pre-warn me. He says, "Bill, sometimes I get night terrors. So if you hear me moving about, and because I always slept down here with the dogs. We had the fire on low, so the heat would go up. So you'd get the heat anyway." And he went up and he went to sleep upstairs. And about 3, 4 in the morning, I could hear him thrashing about and moaning and mumbling, and I was scared because I could hear him hitting his arms or something on the boards, and I was scared he was going to hurt himself. And I spent about 2 hours listening to him struggling up there in his sleep. And he came down, and I didn't raise the point at the beginning. I just let him settle down and have coffee, and we're laughing and joking. And I says, "Oh, by the way, Derek, you were moving about last night." And he says, "Oh, was I, Bill?" And I says, "Yeah." And he says, "Oh, sorry, mate." I says, No, I was worried about you, mate." What made me laugh is Rogue started growling because she thought there was someone trying to break into the hut. So I had to tell her to shut up. But poor bloke, he'd gone for a lot. And cancer took him. And just when you sit here and you see that stove and that fireplace, and you see, the side here, and just the memories come flooding back. Very, very sad. And he was the same age as me. Could have easily been me. And that's the sad thing about life. You just don't know what's around the corner, do you? So that's why you got to enjoy every second. But, as I say, I think Derek did know. I think Derek had known a long, long time. And he just wanted to have some fun. And he knew if he opened his mouth, everyone would pamper him and worry about him. So he didn't want to worry anyone. He wanted to struggle on and do what he could to the end. And I think meeting us, messing about with the dogs, going on searches, kept his mind off his condition and picked him up. I know he had a great time. I know how happy he was, and he never stopped talking about it, and said, "Can't wait to do the next one, making plans." Sadly, they weren't going to happen, were they? But it's just, I can just see him now. It's just like weird feeling in it, because it's the first time I've been back in the hut since he passed away. Very, very sad. Not like me to be serious and kind of, it's not dark or anything. It's just when you're sitting here and you've got nothing else to do except sit and relax, you start thinking. So, yeah, my advice is get out, do what you can. It doesn't get easier when you get older, but you just do not know what's around the corner. But do whatever makes you happy. And if it keeps your mind off your problems and any issues you might have, then all the better. Because I know, as I say, seeing Derek's face and us laughing and joking, I don't think we stopped laughing all the way through. I think it was here 3 days, and it was great fun. Really good fun. Yeah, I miss him. Weird. As I say, I only knew him a short period of time. I think it was, as I say, we've been chatting and discussing the searching and all that for probably a good year before we actually met up. But he'd been chatting to me through Instagram and a couple other sites. I can't remember even if it was YouTube for years. But it was one of them people that I'd see him and go, he'd come out, he's Derek, and I go, oh, Derek, how are you? And then he'd disappear, and I wouldn't see him, hear from him again. But he always was on the horizon chatting. So, and basically, I'd not met him, but known him for a long time because he was discussing base. He used to do a lot of tarp camping, and in Yorkshire Dales. Is it Yorkshire Dales or? I'm sure it's Yorkshire Dales, but up north anyway, because he was from Yorkshire. And he liked the Lake District as well, I believe. But yeah, it's amazing how things can turn, isn't it? Must be this dark, gloomy weather that's making me think like this. Yeah, still raining. 5:15, and tonight's meal is pasta bolognese from the British MRE pan. So I've got to boil this. See, normally I don't have a pan big enough, so I brought one because I knew. One of these pouches, I mean, because I knew I was going to be in the hut and they got pans. So I've got to boil it 8 to 10 minutes and give it a stir and then consume. So let's see what that's like. When I get miserable at. I actually closed the doors, I was getting chilly inside the hut. Good thing is these lamps we put on they throw out a bit of heat, they do. So you don't need the fire on there. No fire in the summer. So I've got a massive bottle of water, pan of water, but the thing is it'll be boiled and I can use it for the dogs. And this was in the hut, some Pepsi. I ain't had Pepsi in years. Someone left it, so I'll try a can of Pepsi for pudding. Just let the dogs out. Absolutely soaking out. I didn't bring their bowls up because there used to be tubs and tubs of bowls and everything in it, and because I didn't bring their bowls, obviously someone's thrown all the bowls out. So I use a saucepan, but what I'll do is I'll swill it and clean it before. Yeah, there's plenty of washing up stuff in here. Don't know what this one is. Yeah, fairy. So I can give it a good clean and then throw the water in the vegetation and not in the river. So pans will be cleaned after. There is a bit of firewood. I might put that bit of firewood on later just to take the chill out of the room, just so anything that's damp can dry out, like the pack and all that. It's not cold. It's just a bit chilly because it's got that feel about it. I've got their dog blankets and everything. I'm going to be fine with quilt. Just looked at the weather and they say it's going to stop at 4 in the morning. So, and it's going to be bright and 17 degrees tomorrow. I should believe that when I see it. I don't want to be stuck in here another day. Nothing wrong with the hut. The hut's lovely. But I need to be doing things. As I say, there was a time I could do that. See, like my hat's still damp. The boot that I put on this morning, that was a bit wet, which I think was the right one. That's been fine. I haven't felt that at all. I dried out with my feet. So lazy, bored. It's nice and cozy in here. You can't complain. What a brilliant hut. But last time you see I brought charging packs and all that, so I could play things, play music and all that, but I've only got 2 charge battery packs and they will run down quick, and we need sunshine to I've got a solar panel, but we need sunshine for that. And at the moment we're not getting no sunshine. So I'll let you know how my dinner is when it's done. Ribble says, it's not the same without a fire, Dad. Why isn't there a fire? The answer to that, Rebel, is it's about 16, 17 degrees, and if I put a fire, it'll be about 36 degrees. As you can see, Rogue's stressed, extremely stressed. And there it is. I tell you what, it smells absolutely beautiful. Steaming. It's going to be hot. Spaghetti bolognese. Oh, let's try it. There I was, drinking my Pepsi with my cosy feelings, and I looked out and the rain stopped. I don't know how long, but we're going to make use of the time because the dogs ain't done much. None of us have. So using the time, going to walk towards the plantation, but we're not going to go far. And it is going to be messy, yes, and they are going to get wet. But I've got a little bit of firewood in there that I could burn to dry the room out, and they'll dry off quite quick in these temps. Gotta say, it's a bit chilly out here. I think that's because I've been stood still in the hut for so long. It's now 7 minutes past 6. The reason I'm taking them up there is they're off the track, so if there's any lamb rows or anything, once they get past this gate here, they're out the way. But we've got to do to it. Can't sit in the hut all day. As I say, normally I'm chopping wood and, you know, kind of got 100 missions on. But that was good timing because it would help me digest my food. Look at that clag all down. See what I mean? Oh, I don't know what's screaming at her. Someone's screaming behind us. But the clag comes right down. And now it's not raining now, it's kind of going through a phase. We can imagine being stuck up halfway up there, couldn't you? And in amongst the cloud. Temperatures drop. Now they're saying the breeze is supposed to be about 4 or 5 miles an hour, but this way, yo, hey, that's the farm, this way. But it feels much chillier than that. So, take them along here, they've done it a million times. Right, put you away for a minute. Oh dear. What does one say? So, we went walking, as you saw. Nice track, not too boggy. Little muddy spots here and there, but nothing too bad for the dogs or me. So we won't come back all covered. Nice brisk breeze. Lie down, Rogue. We don't want to see you. Lie down. She's on a old sleeping bag. So everything's going good now. You probably can hear what is happening outside. This is the heavy rain that I've been expecting. So go down the track, everything hunky-dory. Then the wind stopped. And of course, what did we forget? The midges. So then we got attacked by the midges. And that was great fun. Dogs were rolling because they were attacking them. And it's really thrown it down that end there. Can you believe today, which is Monday, June the 30th, in the Midlands where I live, they're predicting 33 and 34 degree temperatures and a heat wave, and giving amber alerts for how bad the heat is. And on the same day, we're in this hut here, and it's just like a monsoon. Yep, still pouring down outside. Put light on. It was getting dark a minute ago. Wow. Moved all my clothing. I've got changed into my night gear. Moved all my clothing to air. My rubbish. Then my food, and then dog food. So if there's mice, I'm going to clear this table of anything that mice might chew, because I'm sure there'll be mice at this time of year. Good thing is, Rebel loves mice. He used to run in the field and catch them and eat them. One bite, they're gone. Got the blankets airing. I don't think they'll need them tonight. I'll be under my quilt, but I'm sure I'll be warm. Just in case it drops during the night. Didn't put a fire on, there's no need. Everything's airing. I'll wait for it quite calm down for a few minutes, so, and then I would let them out for a last call of nature. And then I'll get my camp bed set up and start setting my bed up. Crash out. I'll leave the light on because if I don't, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and it'll be pitch black in here, with mice running everywhere probably. And utter disaster because Rebel's chasing them around. Yeah, he used to running in a field when he was about 18 months old, and you'd see him jumping up and down like some cat. And you toss it in the air, boom, gone. Kind of enjoy tossing it in the air for some reason. Real soggy night, soggy day. So easy the rivers can go out, can't you? There's a hell of a lot of water running off them mountains and them slopes and down the gullies and everywhere. Got a plate of water in here, or coffee if I need one. Water in the pan that I use boiling in the bag. Boots are more or less dry. That one that got wet, no problem. Again, I've left them, I put them on a stool just in case the mouth runs in them. Oh dear. You got to think of these things. Hopefully we don't get the pitter patter all night. Oh, that'd just be disturbing, wouldn't it? But there again, we'll probably get the pitter patter from the rain. Can you hear it running off that shutter in there? Oh, probably see in the morning unless the roof blows off or we have to bail out because we're flooded.